Reese right here with Adore Her Beauty, back with another video, and I am excited. We got a new client alert. As you know, Adore Her Beauty services 100% women and about 99.99% women of color. So I am super excited to be waxing a male beard on today. So let's get into it. So again, we have this beautiful spirit, very handsome guy. I wish you guys can see beautiful eyes, just gorgeous. And so I am doing his beard wax, and we are going to be using Abrogate Wax by Abolish Wax brand for the duration of this video, and we're going to be using several techniques in order to get this hair. I'm going to name them, and you just kind of comment at what timestamp you see these techniques being used. So we're going to use the double lay technique, we're going to use the reverse lay technique, and we're just going to use a reverse technique. So let me know when you notice it, but pretty much I can tell you that the double lay is throughout the entire video. So why? So if you're watching, you're probably like, why is she using so much wax? Well, that is the double lay technique. It's where you're putting one layer and you're laying it real good, and then you put another layer on top of that layer. So what this does is just helps to fortify the wax, because with hair like this, hair that is full of androgen, full of testosterone, that male hormone, and it's just like pumping with that hormone. So they are very strong. They are deeply embedded in the follicle. Most times for, I think, males, puberty begins and they begin to get their facial hair around 13, 14, somewhere up in there. So most times they'll grow up shaving because that's how they're taught. And so those hair follicles are never removed. And so from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, those follicles are in there for years and they've never been removed. And so they are gripping for dear life because, I mean, it's their nature. So you need durability to be able to remove those hairs from the follicles successfully. And I always tell people, before you get to judging and slinging mud, go outside and see if you can pull up a handful of grass without snapping or breaking them. If you can pull some grass up and have all the roots attached with no breaking or snapping of those blades of grass, then we can talk. Then you can come under these comments and say whatever. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna respect it. And so, yeah. So durability of the wax, even the best of the best of the best, if the hair has not been waxed consistently and just trained real well, you're going to need some durability. So I said all of that to say that is why the double lay technique is important. So this is not the reverse lay technique, what I'm doing right here. This is just a reverse technique where the wax is intentionally applied in the wrong direction to get the hairs underneath. Now, reverse lay technique is where you put one layer of wax in the opposite direction, and then on top of that, reverse double lay, I need to call it that, you put a second layer on top of the reverse wax, but you put it in the direction that the hair grows. So that means you have wax going underneath the hair strands, and then you have wax going on top. So it's shrink wrapping the hair so that when you remove it, it gets removed. So the chin, for the ladies with hirsutism, and of course the guys with beards, the chin, for some reason, it grips the tightest, it grips the strongest, it's the most fiercest. So I did have a little stretching of the wax on this side, and so you'll see that, you know, when I got on the other side, I pivoted really quick because the wax removed without any stretching or tearing and things of that nature. So you see me self-correct throughout this video. And to the estheticians who may be tuning in, give yourself grace all the time. You know, of course you still work how you work, you still, you know, execute that knowledge and training that you have. But when you're dealing with first time clients, give yourself a little grace because you're learning with them on the spot. And that's why I love this career, because it's ever challenging, you know. So when he comes in next time, I mean, it's gonna be breezy. I took my time because you got to learn the client's pain level tolerance and stuff like that. Like, how much can they handle? Are these strips too big? Should I shrink them down? Which of course he did well. And so these are things you're learning as you go. So now I know him. I've been familiarized. And so next visit, as a matter of fact, he's coming back in 2 weeks. We are going to roll. So over here on this side, you'll see what I mean about pivoting and learning as you go, to make sure that you don't, and I'm not going to even call it a mistake, but just making sure you produce a better result than the results you produced before. So yeah, the wax is a little messy, and that's another thing that I want to note as well. So with the ladies, the jawline is a little bit more tender, for lack of a better word. The males have a more chiseled jawline, so it's very hard to kind of connect the wax from the jawline to the neck. And you needed to connect from the jawline to the neck, because if I was to stop the wax solely at the jawline, it would be very challenging to make a lift. So that's why I'm going from like cheek, jawline, all the way down to the neck, because that's how I'm getting my lifts. So I was able to do that, and then you just connect the gaps, fill it with wax, let it sit real good, and then you're able to remove it with I want to say effortlessly, but there's some effort involved, as you can see. So we're not going to talk about hair type and texture for this video, I don't believe, because I think if I get into it, I may not have time. But one thing that I do want to say is, and we do know this, and you can clearly see it, that the hair does grow in layers. So there are several layers underneath. So when you wax, that's why hair is behind, because that's another layer. And so it did require to do multiple lays. And again, first time client, I pushed the envelope with him with some of the number of layers that I did. So I will be following up with him in a couple days just to make sure everything is okay. But you can see he does have a lot of erythema. It subsided so quickly. Like before I was done with one side, going over to the other side, it had already calmed down. Actually, also I want to mention, and you can see that I'm pretty sure that he is acne prone, so he's recovering, like he's on a skincare journey to like clarify his skin and just make it real nice. He showed me some photos of previous progress, made amazing transformation already. So he is, this is an ongoing thing. It's a journey. I always tell people that it's a journey, so just take your time. So I couldn't show tweezing, and that's why also you saw me going from like application to just remove, because I run out of space and I'm running out of time now. So it's so much we can talk about with this video. I may do a part 2 using some of the same footage but just different commentary. So if you want that part 2, if you want to hear a little bit more of what I have to say about hair types, texture, his skin, all of that, if you want to know more, comment below, and I will see you in the next video.